All right, now we're going to jump into mileage and speed conversion. So I have some sample problems and some solutions. And so what I would hope is that you can pull up the link below, which is this UND Aerospace online E6B, and you can follow along. If you don't have access to the internet, you can also, well, you should because you're watching this, but you can also grab your own personal E6B flight calculator and follow along. So either the online one or this one will work. Okay, so we're just going to go right down the list. So problem one, converting ground speed to time in nautical miles. A plane is traveling at a ground speed of 120 knots. How long will it take to cover 240 nautical miles? So the first thing is we notice this triangle. So we want to set the index. This triangle is called the index. The index, we want to set it at 120 or a variable off of it. So if you look on the outer scale here, there's no 120, but there's a 12. So we can just drop the 0, but we'll remember to add it later. So we can set the index, the rate here, at 60 at 120. And now what we're going to do is we're going to find 240 nautical miles on the outer scale. So again, there's no 240, but there is a 24. So if we look at this 24, and I'm sorry that it's upside down, I can't really zoom in and rotate the whole screen, but that'd be nice. But this 24 corresponds with roughly 2 hours on this inner scale. So now, the nice part about this is that on the whiz wheel, when you're taking your tests, if you forget these conversions on how to do it, there's directions on exactly what to do and how to do it right on the face of the dial. So if you have a problem like 120 knots, how long will it take 240 miles? You can say, okay, I know distance is outer, so I'm going to set the index on the distance, which is 120. And then I'm going to read this. Distance is outer, and then time is going to be on the inner. So I go 240, and then time on the inner. Okay. Now let's go with another problem. I think repetition and just challenging yourself to use this whiz wheel will gain familiarity with the whiz wheel. So problem number 2 that we're trying to solve is time to cover a distance in statute miles. You're flying at 150 miles per hour and need to cover 300 statute miles. How long will it take? So align the 150 speed with the arrow on the outer ring. So the index, and we look on this outer ring, there's no 150, but there's a 15. So we're going to take this index, slide it over to 15, and do as best job we can of lining it up. Then find 300 miles on the outer scale. But again, there's no outer scale of 300, but there is 30. So we'll use this. And then read the time on the inner scale, which should be 2 hours. So you see this 2 hours here. Of course, it's upside down. I'm sorry, I can't rotate the whole whiz wheel inside of this program, inside of the online. But in reality, what you would be able to do is actually rotate the whiz wheel to make it easier. So we figured you're flying 150 miles and you covered 300 miles. How long did it take? And of course, it's 2 hours. I mean, we kind of know this just because, like, simple math, right? All right, let's go with number 3. Problem number 3 is calculating ground speed, nautical miles per hour. You travel 180 nautical miles in 2.5 hours. What is your ground speed? Okay, so again, let's look at this. And we set the 2.5 hours on the inner scale at 180 miles. So 2.5 hours is under 15, 180 or 18. So let's set that right there. And then we look over here at the 70 knots, 71, 72. So 72 knots is the answer to this question. Okay, let's try another one. Finding a distance from time and ground speed in statute miles. An airplane is flying at 200 miles per hour for an hour and a half. How far does it travel? Align the speed index 200 with, align the speed of 200 miles an hour with the index. So here's the index. Let's find that 200. It's right over here. Yeah, as close as I can get. Locate an hour and a half on the inner scale. So there is an hour 30. I'm going to click off over here so I don't move the whiz wheel. And then you can see that it lines up. If I was perfect, it would line up with the 30. And so this 30 could be 3, it could be 0.3, it could be 30, it could be 300, or it could be 3,000. So you have to be careful on the unit of measurement that you're doing, that you're working with. That's just it. I mean, the beauty of the whiz wheel is that you have the information located right here to use as a cheat sheet. So we'll use that moving forward. If you're ready to dive deeper into the world of helicopters, check out the free Getting Started helicopter course in the description below. And as always, please feel free to like and subscribe.